Hello everybody, I am Technovoid, your host and embodiment of Primal Rage, and with me is Hamsterwings, your favorite Pokemon analyst. We're here today with Trouble Double Draft Season 5, Week 3. It's recap time, baby. Are you ready?
Yeah, because this one's really short.
This one is shorter than usual because, unfortunately, we are recording this a day early because tomorrow is a holiday and we can't record. So there's actually a couple matches that haven't happened yet. Sorry to you folks. Who is it? Lasden, Peanut Scratch, Bateler, and PLKJ. Y'all didn't make the cut. We don't know how your games are going. But until then, we've got Eggpling versus OJ Otter here in the first matchup. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that OJ's gonna stall again.
Yeah, he does have a team for that.
But, I mean, Hawlucha is here, it's always here. Which is not a stall Pokemon, but, like, you know, it's still a stall team, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Salamence, is okay. Kinda gets rocked by Dracozolt, but I assume a large part of his team is equipped to deal with Dracozolt, because it is genuinely one of Egg's biggest threats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Musharna from Egg, and by a lot I mean like 2 matches, but like he's been using Musharna like pretty well, and I still think that he could have chosen any other psychic type and have gotten more use out of it. But that being said, he's getting use out of it, so good for him. First time we're seeing Shuckle though.
Yeah, Shuckle's debut.
And then, yeah, on OJ's side, I think it's all stuff that we've seen before. Swampert proved itself last week as a very versatile C-tier. I always think Swampert's just really, really good, but it's not been drafted very frequently.
Yeah, I think it's only ever come like twice, but I think it's a really good Pokemon.
It's very, very good. All right, well, so on Egg's side, what do you think he's doing? Is it just getting that Dracozolt into a good position, or is there anything else he can do here to win?
I mean, I see Shuckle and I'm like, okay, this is a Hazards game, and I look at Egg's team or OJ's team, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Hazards work pretty nicely here. He does have a fair number of things weak to rocks, and the stall is always nice. So let us get into it. So it's like stall versus Hazards is a very strange matchup.
Not in singles. In singles, it's every matchup.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't play it.
I stopped playing it for that reason.
We don't care.
So Dracozolt comes right out turn 1, probably to avoid the very, very scary boys to the Hippowdon, because Dracozolt eats that up, not comfortably, but he does eat it.
Mm-hmm. And we have a Sticky Webs up already.
Yeah, Sticky Webs go up,
and
which is interesting.
We got a fast Dracozolt now.
Yep.
We have
this is a good call on the Protect there.
Mm-hmm. For sure, because it lets him get up another thing.
Yep, Stealth Rocks go up for basically free.
Yeah, might as well be free. And now we got the Bolt Beak.
Yeah, which it actually lives because of that Iron Defense. Weirdest prep I've probably ever seen.
It worked.
It worked here. And then he gets ejected. So it doesn't work anymore because he's like almost in kill range from Stealth Rocks.
And he goes down.
And it's huge to see Dracozolt go down that early. Especially in front of a Hawlucha that just got its speed boost. But the final Gambit there is actually like a super good play because it gives Egg a double down here.
Yes.
Gives him 2 free switches.
Yeah, and
he lost 2 Pokemon for it, but anytime that you can double down yourself, it's actually like a huge momentum swing.
Yeah, given where OJ's biggest threats are right now, HP-wise, Eggpling is in a better place than it looks like. And this is actually a really good combination of Pokemon with the Musharna, which is primarily supportive and, you know, does have an offensive presence against that Venusaur versus this just, you know, obviously very fast, very strong S-tier. It works together in their favor, managed to get that ally switch, take down the Hawlucha very quickly, and OJ, despite having 5 Pokemon, is running out of answers already.
Yeah, it's actually crazy that while Egg does have fewer Pokemon, he's really, like, using them well.
Yeah, and yeah, there goes that, and,
especially,
you know,
like, Musharna threatening that 50-50 last turn on, it could kill either one.
Mm-hmm.
Rotom going down to the Stealth Rock damage is just enough to let it die to this Z move.
Yeah, and that very, very good use of the Z move. I'm guessing that was there for the Finny originally, but like, and we'll see this later in this video, but just, you know, You have the damage, you don't need it on the Finny anymore, just use it. Just get rid of it.
Exactly. Pull the trigger. Don't do what I did.
So this attack nerf does hurt Centiskorch somewhat, but honestly, it's not going to matter at this point. Things got power
And the
whip.
web's coming in huge here.
Yes.
Slowing down Swampert to underspeed Centiskorch so Centiskorch can take it out with the power whip.
Yeah.
And that just leaves poor old Tapu Fini to get cleaned up by Darkrai.
That's the match. Yeah, I think despite the fact that Egg for I mean, this is like 9 turns only, but for the first half of it, it looked like Egg was on like the back leg, the back foot, whatever the hell you call it, but he never really was.
But it just shows you the power of like losing 2 of your own Pokemon at once.
Yeah.
It's just such a potential momentum swing. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the Dracozolt going down when it did, just like it did what it needed to. Because Darkrai and surprisingly Musharna were in the wings, ready to completely clean everything up, and both those rocks and those sticky webs came in huge clutch. So hey, I think we have seen more uses of Stealth Rocks in the past 3 weeks than we have in like the entirety of TDD. Like,
outside of like season 3 where I ran them every match, but yeah.
Right. But like people don't generally in our league use entry hazards, and it just goes to show that, you know, they are pretty strong. And I don't need to preach to the choir this week, or not this week, this season, because people are using them and they're using them effectively.
It's true.
Alrighty, well, on into the next one. We have another match from Quick Ball. We've got Math Geek, his entry into the recaps, versus Stormy Sunshine, who I believe is here 3 for 3. All of her matches have been very good this season.
Yeah.
I will say at the end of the last recap, I said that Math Geek was the last person who hadn't made it in. I was wrong. Whiskey hasn't made it in yet, but that's not our fault super much, because last week we didn't get it in time, and then the other 2 weeks the matches were just not as good as other ones to show off. But I believe
unfortunate about this week, because there could have been a really good chance for that match to go in, but something went horribly wrong. A few things went horribly wrong.
Yes, very much so. But looking at this, so Math Geek, honestly, pretty standard from what he's running. You know, the Staraptor, despite the fact that we have not shown this off yet, Staraptor I think is 3 for 3 weeks on just being a fast Final Gambit user.
Yeah.
It does have other good moves, but like,
a lot of other good moves.
Yeah, I mean, it has like Brave Bird in close combat, right?
What? Brave Bird, close combat, double edge, reckless boosted, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know, if you want to use a C tier to just completely remove a higher tier Pokemon from the game, that makes a lot of sense. On Stormy side, no Glastrier, which I think makes a lot of sense. A lot of Matt's Pokemon really threaten Glastrier.
Don't see Glastrier as a threat. Or rather, don't see Glastrier.
Yeah, they don't see Glastrier as a threat
threat
whatsoever as well, yeah. The arrival of Aromatisse, this is the first matchup where we have 2
TR setters.
Setters, two TR setters. But what else do you see here?
I feel like the only things that we haven't gotten to are like the offensive side of Matt's draft, which is all 3 of them are here. Makes total sense. I believe at least 2 of them are 3 for 3.
Yes. I believe DNC missed week 2, but the other 2 are 3 for 3.
Okay. So I mean, Buzzwole is always just very good into either Trick Room or not Trick Room. Buzzwole just kind of destroys balance by being better balance.
Mm-hmm.
And Kartana, I mean, you can never go wrong with Kartana.
Yes.
I think that makes sense for this match.
Mm-hmm. And on Stormy's side?
On Stormy's side, Stormy's got a lot of good resists. Like, a lot of just tanky boys. Like, sure, the Trick Room is still going to be here, but it doesn't seem as reliant on it at all.
Yeah,
she just has so many tanks.
I think especially with the removal of Glastrier, I think Glastrier is one of the Pokemon that like requires TR the most to be successful. Otherwise, a lot of these Pokemon are just going to kind of sit there and just let whatever happens. And that actually plays in a huge way into this match, given what Math Geek is planning.
Yeah.
So we can get straight into it. I say straight into it after we've talked about it for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta drag out the video that has one less battle.
True. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. So starting with the fake out, how do you feel about that fake out into the slow bro slot?
I honestly would have just fake out killed Smeargle turn 1.
Yeah.
Because it probably would die.
Yeah, very like a fake out Moonblast or something that could have been big. Now going for the King Shield here. Really good. Yeah, goes for the U-turn. I mean, I feel like, and I mean, obviously I know this now, but I mean, the Slowbro here, now it's using Imprison, very obviously a sort of a Trick Room counter. God's Mistake actually going for the Reflect here, not the TR, so maybe not necessarily a call, but, you know, working out in its favor. Thunderbolt here, just not going to kill. And we got the Yawn, and we got the Spore. Math is going for more sleep bottery shenanigans. And that is not great for Stormy. Stormy has been burned before by really shitty sleep teams.
Yeah.
And
Gudra's not switching out here. Which is
not switching the Drowsies. Very interesting.
I mean, I think there's always a place to stay in when you're drowsy. I don't know if this was it per se. Or...
Yeah, I think losing the Gudra here hurts a lot because Gudra had a lot of offensive pressure on this team.
Yeah.
It sucks to see it go down so early. Now the Mian Show is back in. And goes for the fake out.
It's kind of a hard thing to switch in here.
Yeah. I think it really depends on whether Math noticed that it had the normal gem when it used fake out that first time, because that makes it pretty clear that it has acrobatics on the set. So,
yeah,
you know, Math knowing whether or not he should switch out that Buzzwole really depends on whether he saw that. It seems like he did because he switches it out here. But I mean, we still have Smeargle in the back with that Spore. This Slowbro just loves its freaking yawns.
Yeah,
but
Smeargle does absolutely put in work against Trick Room teams specifically because Smeargle is not very fast.
Yeah, and we have, I believe, another no switch. Just goes straight in, and this is kind of huge, getting the burn there.
It is, yeah.
Kind of huge. Double Drowsy, not switching out, so that's another sleeping thing. But at this point, Stormy's team is bulky enough that it can kind of survive just being asleep for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, Math was 100% banking on that Aromatisse switching out, but it doesn't care.
It doesn't care. It sits there, and it just gets a kill there. Yeah, Math trying to make up for that burn.
Aromatisse does what it does. It kills steel types, apparently.
Now, I think we all see the Staraptor on the field. I think we all have a pretty good idea of what it's going to go for. And, we're going to go for the fake out, which...
At least an idea.
Yeah. Which is surprising there that it goes for the fake out then, because it is definitely slower than the Staraptor. So it's an interesting option there. But, decides on this turn to go for Tailwind. Unfortunate Protect miss there. Rather, unfortunate that they went for Protect is what I mean.
Yeah, double Protect.
Stalled it out another turn.
Yeah, but I figured she probably thought it was just going to Final Gambit again.
Yes, yeah.
Makes sense. Now it does. And now Trick Room goes up.
Now Trick Room is up. But it is worth noting that if this thing was using Imprison, it probably has Trick Room, because this is a really, really good position for Stormy for having this a Ferrothorn out here in TR with obviously power very, very strong, but Trick Room is just going to come straight back down.
Yeah, choosing to use the turn to take down Trick Room is, I mean, not a bad play. I think it makes sense here specifically. Normally, I would say it's a bad play.
Yeah, I do want to point out here.
I think in this instance, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, I do want to point out here, just because of how the match ends up, that after that Endeavor, this Tentacruel was taken down to like 24%.
Yeah.
And just the amount of times it has not been targeted and how that ended up biting Math in the butt. Finally, this Aromatisse goes down, putting in a lot of work, honestly.
Genuinely.
Yes, and now we have the Reflect up, which is really good because, I mean, sure, this thing does have Moonblast, but just being able to sort of tank hits from the Buzzwole is going to be really, really nice here. The Drowsy. Now, I believe this is a time that Stormy switches, which I think makes a lot of sense because you need to. You have the Diancie right there. You
Yeah,
really can't afford to be sleeping when you have 3 Pokemon.
One important thing to think about there is that, yes, Mienshao did have U-turn, but if you U-turn into Slowbro and it protects, you're in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
So I agree 100% with hard switching instead of U-turn.
And also, there's also the possibility, I don't know this for a fact, it could be slower than Diancie.
Yeah,
Yep.
it is.
So,
it should be.
So there's that to note. And I think the double down there makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think double into the Diancie just in case made a lot of sense. It did pay off.
Yeah. Unfortunate burn there. Very unfortunate burn on the Scald. That makes Stormy lose that. But at this point, I mean, Stormy's in a good position. We haven't seen Protect. We haven't actually seen very much from Keto in this match yet.
Yeah, but also Buzzwole can now not escape the acrobatics.
Yes. More
and
Drowsy.
Stormy cannot escape the Drowsy.
Yes.
Unless...
Yeah, we got an acrobatics there.
Acrobatics, Buzzwole goes down, and then it's the War of Scalds.
It's a 2-to-1 right now. Definitely makes sense to go for the Mienshao first, no doubt. And that's exactly what Math does. The U-turn here. I think acrobatics probably would have done more, but I don't know that for a fact.
140 versus 110. No.
No?
U-turn did more.
The U-turn did more? Okay. Noted. But yeah, at this point, I mean, there's not too much to say at this point. Pretty clear what the Slowbro is going to do.
If Acro was Stab, it would have done more, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Now, at
so
this
now
point,
we get into these classic War of Attritions.
Yes.
But with a little twist this time.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this thing, the only thing it has is Black Sludge Recovery, and it went from like 23 all the way back up to 85 just because it was never targeted.
Yeah, and I mean, both people are kind of burn fishing. I mean, actually, Math is kind of fishing to not burn.
Yeah, Math does not want to burn here because he wants to get that Drowsy off, but unfortunately the Drowsy does not proc because of that. Meanwhile, not getting that burn after all these Scalds from Stormy, Math Geek, he's got Imprison here. He's got Imprison, and the only move we've seen from Tentacruel is Scald. Very good way to end this match early.
Yeah.
Would have been great.
I believe the Imprison does come out at some point.
Yes, but it is too little too late because the Slowbro has already been burned. I think as long as the burn happened, I think Tentacruel doesn't lose this because I know that Ice Beam isn't very effective, but it does also have Dazzling Gleam, which
How many moves has Slowbro revealed? Has it revealed all 4?
All of them, yeah.
Okay.
It has got Imprison, Yawn, Scald, and Trick Room. The only thing we've seen from Tentacruel is Scald, but it does also have Dazzling Gleam and Ice Beam, which it uses here. I think had the Imprison come out before Tentacruel could get a burn, I don't think Tentacruel could have won that.
Yeah, it might not have been.
Yeah, because I don't think the non-stab Dazzling Gleam would have been doing nearly enough with those leftovers recovery. But once the
without
burn
a chance to burn.
Yeah, but once the burn was there, I do think that no matter what Math did, I think that was Stormy's game because, you know, you are basically getting rid of that leftovers, and then at that point, it doesn't really need the Scald anymore because it has a huge HP advantage.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, you know, very good match here. I think both sides played very well. A couple of interesting, you know, sleep things from Stormy with the not switching out, but I think it worked because the Pokemon were just tanky enough. And, you know, Egg was expecting switches, and just they didn't happen, and shit just went down.
Math, not Egg.
Did I say Egg?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that is going to be it for our quick ball matches this week. And we've only got one timer match for you because, frankly, there have been 3 timer matches this week so far, and 2 of them were just kind of... There's not much to say about them.
Yeah. I mean, that is how we pick the matches, is that if we have stuff to say about them, we say it. If we
don't,
think we might have a lot of dead air during a match, we just don't bring it.
Yes. So, here we got Post versus CP Sentinels. Notably, I'm not bringing Melmetal or Tapu Bulu this game. I feel like they are threatened too much. Bulu was Melmetal was never really a consideration for me because Post just has too many Pokemon that threaten it so hard.
He has Mr. Zamazenta.
He does have Zamazenta right there. He's got the Cinderace, which hurts a lot. He's got all sorts of stuff. And then Bulu was in consideration for a while, even though it does also get threatened pretty hard, because it does nice into Zamazenta. I ended up not bringing it because I realized that I was going to have a team with 3 flying Pokemon, and I was like, I don't want Post to be benefiting more from my terrain than I am.
Yeah.
And that actually ended up working in my favor because Post has planned a lot of this team, especially this Necrozma, around Melmetal being here. So a lot of his prep now is not as useful. I was not expecting Necrozma. These other Pokemon, I was expecting each and every one of them. Necrozma, I did not see coming.
Yeah.
I really didn't think that, so I'm not prepared for this.
I mean, Necrozma is always a wild card.
Yeah. No, I saw Necrozma, I'm like, crap, I don't have any idea how Post plans on using this thing.
Yeah, it can do a ridiculous amount of things.
Which puts me in a bad place for the information game, but I do end up winning the information game at the end here, which is it's real nice for me. But, alright, so leading off, we got the Mega Blastoise and the Caparaja. And I'm leading with a Salazzle and a Sigilif.
I feel like you found a new kind of appreciation for what Salazzle can do.
Yeah.
Maybe begrudgingly.
Yeah, kinda. So, I honestly, I misplayed this. I was thinking, how do I say? Let me try and find the words. I was calking around Ice Beam because I was like, the best super effective move it has against me is Ice Beam because it's super effective. I forgot that Ice Beam is not boosted by the cannon thing.
Mega Launcher.
The Mega Launcher, and that Dark Pulse is. So I was calking around the wrong damage roll. But at this point, I have to have a very serious talk with myself about Sigilif and how much I want to boost its stats and whether or not it is worth it to switch it out here. And I decide no, I would rather get Chip on this Blastoise because frankly, the number of answers I have to it are extremely limited. So I let him go down. Goodbye,
He does go for the Ice Beam on it to finish it off, which I think is really good.
And I'm unlocked! The Moltres switch!
I don't know why Play Rough happened there.
I'm here. This thing can now 6-0 easily, but I fucking missed the air slash! So tilting! So tilting! Nothing came in there. I could have just gone for Dark Pulse. I could have just gone for Dark Pulse there, 100, but I figure he's gonna switch Blastoise out because the only answer I have to it is Raichu. I mean, I know that. I guess he doesn't know that, but looking at my team, it really looks like the only answer I have to that thing is Raichu. So I really thought he was gonna preserve it until the Raichu was dead. And I knew that, like, I was thinking if Zamazenta comes in or anything else, +3, Moltres kills anything that he brings in. But I just fucking miss. I was like, should I bring Hurricane? No, I don't want to miss. I want to hit.
Yeah, should have run Gust.
Should have run Gust. God,
I don't even know if it learns Gust.
Anyways, Zygarde is now coming in and doing Zygarde things. That Blastoise is dead, which is really, really good for me because that is one of the things I was most worried about. And at this point, I'm like, I do not need Raichu anymore. That was why I needed Raichu. So I use Follow Me here so I can block one of the moves and get a defense boost before I get hit with a Play Rough, which kind of comes in clutch for me.
Yeah, this is the part where you look at Zygarde and go, oh no. Once it's gotten up a coil, you're in trouble.
Yes, and now I'm protecting and tailwinding because I'm expecting more hits into this thing. I need, at this point, my brain is in overdrive. I've lost my main win con here, and I'm just like, I need to get this Zygarde in a space to just take over the game in the next, like, 3 turns, or else I lose this.
Yeah, and you have to figure that Vileplume's either going to Toxic it or Moonblast it.
Yes. And in comes the Necrozma. At this point, so I was saving this fucking Acid Downpour for Togekiss, because I needed it for Togekiss, but like, I need this damage, and this was actually...
But no, that was the right play.
Yes, and I needed that was a roll. This is such a useful Play Roughness for me. If he hit that Play Rough, I think I probably lost the match.
That kind of does even out the
yes.
the huge miss earlier.
Yeah. No, I'm happy.
Although I
happy
would
to
say
be
that this one came in more clutch for you because it just allows Zygarde to go off.
Yeah. Yeah, I end up losing a lot of differential on that air slash miss. But I just a few points I want to make there. So yeah, that the acid downpour was for the Togekiss, but I needed to release it early. Togekiss is right there, but at this point, I'm not going to win.
At this point,
the
it doesn't
match.
matter because Zygarde's faster with the Tailwind.
Yeah, for one more turn, and I needed that hit, and it was actually a roll. I'm pretty sure between those two moves. If they both high rolled, I actually would have been able to kill that Zygarde, I believe, but I believe they both low rolled, which is fine. And then in terms of sludge bombing the other slot, I also had flamethrower on this thing, which would have just straight up killed Vileplume, but I really couldn't risk the Togekiss coming in instead of the Vileplume and taking a flamethrower and just being completely fine.
Yep.
So that's what I go for. At this point, I feel like I'm playing every single turn completely correctly because I have no other choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. Showing off the extreme speed there for the first time. This was a really dangerous double down because he has protect on that slot. And if he protected, I lose that. But there's no good reason for him, I think, without extensive knowledge of Zygarde's moveset, to assume that I have extreme speed there. And so I think I win the.
Well, I would argue that it's important to target down the Necrozma because Togekiss, strong as it is, simply cannot kill Salazzle.
It's true, yeah, can't kill Salazzle, and even if he did protect the Necrozma and Zygarde goes down, this Mantine just beats the Togekiss one-on-one.
It does not necessarily beat the Necrozma one-on-one because you never know if that thing's physical or special.
Right, yeah. But the Togekiss had no chance. So I end up winning by I was going to say the hair of my teeth, but teeth don't have skin either, so I don't know why people say that either. But just such a close match, such a good match. I'm honestly happy
I take a lot of issue, actually, with the phrase skin of my teeth, because that means like half your face is getting ripped off.
Oh, yeah, that's bad. That is bad. As tilting as I'm sure both of my and Post's incredibly important misses were, I'm really glad they both played out that way, because I feel this is perhaps some of the best I've played in the late game, just because
I mean, again, your late game it's just all there.
I really just had to think so hard about what are my win cons in the second half. This is one of the matches where I don't think I had that weak of a lead. I think I just misplayed my first turn and then got unlucky on like turn 3. Yeah, but I'm super happy with how that match went. But yeah, I think not Post not knowing that I have the extreme speed helps me, because at that point he thinks I'm slower because I don't have Tailwind up right now. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, it was a good match.
I think it's a really, really good match. That being said, that is all we have for you this week. So any final thoughts on these matches?
Not really. I just thought there were some pretty good matches. Not a ton this week, but I mean, we are recording on Saturday.
Yes,
so
there are two more to yet be had, and hopefully they'll be great. That being said, for the folks that did play that we didn't show off, you and Co, and then Meteor Bower and Digria, I think a lot of those two just came down to some unfortunate luck on the losing side.
Yeah, pretty much.
That being said, and this has been something that has been mentioned in the Discord already, I think Diggory is having trouble sort of working with his team. He's not a fan of how Coco plays. Obviously, Grimmsnarl Dragapult is a very, very strong combination, but he just doesn't feel like he has the tools to succeed. I hope he manages to sort of pull things together in the back half of the season. I believe he can do it. He's a strong player. It's just a matter of
he's a strong player, but like this is very much not his playstyle.
Yeah, it's not his playstyle, and just I think the number of snipes he had made him end up building a team he just doesn't vibe with, especially after last season where he was just in such a good position with his team. Yeah, and then similar situation for you and Co. Congratulations to Co for winning. I think there were just a lot of unfortunate turns on your behalf, though. So I don't think
pretty
there's
much.
too much to say. But that being said, thank you everyone for watching. I'm Techno Void. This is Hamster Wings. Middle of the screen to subscribe. Left for a different video. Right for next week if it is out. We will see you then. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.